Okay, good evening, dear friends. It's actually already morning, so very good, very early morning. And we are going to be doing now the 13th day of the Daily Mitzvah. And, dear friends, we are about to embark on a new theme, a 5-day journey into the laws of idolatry and idolatrous beliefs. And there's a lot of mitzvahs in this theme, and a lot of other very interesting off the beaten path mitzvahs that come up as part of this theme. So get ready. We have 5 days with a lot of mitzvahs and a lot of really fun and wacky stuff coming up. So here we go. We have a lot of mitzvahs for today. I believe it's 11 or 12 mitzvahs. So let us get going over here. And here we go. The first mitzvah is opening the mitzvahs of idolatry. It is forbidden for a Jew to mentally turn and pay attention to idolatry, the beliefs of idolatry, the philosophies, the ideologies, and to start dabbling and learning about it. Don't learn about it. Don't research it. Don't feed that curiosity about it. And don't learn about their beliefs. So, for example, the Rambam says that their founders of these different beliefs say that this spiritual energy, this spiritual force, you could bring it down into your life by doing this or by saying this and this. And this star, if you will offer incense to it, and if you'll stand like this, and if you'll do this, you'll be able to bring down the power of the star into you. The Rambam says just don't go there, don't study about these things. Don't read about it. Why not? Because simply thinking about these ideas is what entices the mind, especially for those who lack the intelligence, lack the knowledge to understand better. It entices the mind, and it attracts the mind, and it will actually sometimes take somebody and pull them into begin worshiping these idols. This comes from the verse in the Torah, Al tifnu el ha'elilim, and you shall not turn to these deities. And the Medrash says that this refers to mentally, giving free real estate, giving space in your brain to these ideas and to these beliefs. And the Medrash says that when you think about these things, you actually give them power. You make them into gods. But then there's an additional point to this mitzvah. The Rambam also brings down from the Medrash that not only shouldn't mentally turn to pay attention to them, but you shouldn't even physically turn. Don't look at them. Right? We got a solar eclipse coming up. Don't look at the sun. Don't look at these gods. Which means that it's forbidden for a Jew to look at these statues and to these images that other beliefs, other religions worship. Simply don't look at it. It's forbidden for a Jew to look. Okay, that is this mitzvah. The Rambam also brings down, there's a lot of verses in the Torah that repeat this prohibition. So that is the first mitzvah. Second mitzvah for today, a general prohibition that a Jew is not allowed to be carefree with his wandering mind. The mind is always wandering, and we need to keep that mind in check, which means that if there's anything which is beyond what a Jew should be thinking about, it is forbidden, and we should stop our minds from going there. This comes from the verse that we say at the end of the Shema, V'lo yisasuru achrei levavchem v'achrei einechem. And you shall not turn, and you shall not follow after your hearts and after your eyes. So what's the hearts? What's after the eyes? After the hearts is you shall not allow your mind to follow heretical ideas. Anything which is beyond the beliefs of the Torah, a Jew has to stop himself from going there. And after the eyes refers to inappropriate thoughts and physical lusts and physical desires. We shall not indulge our mind and allow ourselves to think and obsess in these thoughts. That's the second mitzvah. Third mitzvah is that it's forbidden for a Jew to curse the great name of Hashem. That's it. Simple as that. That's the third mitzvah. Fourth mitzvah for today is that it is forbidden for a Jew to serve a idol in the specific way of serving that idol, which means like this. There are all types of pagan idols, lots and lots of them, and every single different type of idol, they had a specific, unique protocol of how to worship that idol. And whenever there's a specific niche way of how to worship an idol, you're not allowed to do that in front of this idol. So here's a few examples Rambam gives us, and get ready. This is pretty wacky stuff over here. There is an idol called the Pa'ur. And the way to worship the Pa'ur was by going in front of it and defecating in front of it, relieving yourself in front of this idol. And then there's another another idol called Merkulis, and you threw a stone at this idol, and that was the way to worship it. And then there's an idol called Kamosh, and you'd go to the idol and cut off here, and that was how you worship the idol. So all three of these actions, relieving yourself or throwing a stone or cutting your hair is not a problem. But if you do it in front of this idol, that is a violation. But the Rambam says, but if you go and do one of these actions not at the right idol, so you worship an idol, but not in the way not the protocol of this specific idol. So for example, you go over to the Kamosh and you defecate in front of the Kamosh. And then you cut your hair in front of the Merkulis and you throw a stone at Pa'er, which is the wrong thing to do in front of these things. Then your act is meaningless and you are not violating this mitzvah. This is a mitzvah, the prohibition against worshiping an idol in the specific niche way of protocol of how to worship that idol. Next mitzvah, is this the sixth mitzvah? I think it's the sixth mitzvah, is that it's forbidden for a Jew to serve and worship an idol in a general way. So this next mitzvah is like this. Forget about the specific niche way how to worship a specific idol. There are 4 acts that the Torah teaches that they are considered general acts and generally accepted acts, generic acts of serving a deity. And these 4 acts are bowing, offering a sacrifice, offering incense, and pouring a wine libation. And these are the 4 acts of worship that was done in the Beis HaMikdash, in the Holy Temple, as a way to worship Hashem. Now, if you do any of these 4 actions, these generic forms of worship, in front of any idol, or in front of anything that you claim as a god, as an idol, that is this prohibition, even if that specific idol is not generally worshipped by doing one of these 4 generic forms of worship. But if you do it, it doesn't matter. These 4, no matter how you do it, or where you do it, in front of what you do it, if it's done as a way to worship an idol, it is forbidden. Included in this mitzvah is that it is forbidden to verbally accept upon yourself a god and to say about anything that this is my god other than Hashem. Okay, so this is the more general prohibition against serving an idol. Next mitzvah, 7th mitzvah, I believe, is that it is forbidden for a Jew to make for himself an idol which he will worship, which means like this. There is the previous mitzvah is forbidden to worship an idol. But there's an additional mitzvah for a Jew to make or to commission for himself the idol itself, even before he worshipped. So even just the fact of getting for yourself an idol is itself a violation, which means if the Jew makes it himself with his own hands, but even if the Jew commissions somebody else to make it for him, he is violating this mitzvah. And this mitzvah comes from the verse, which is the 2nd of the 10 Commandments, and you shall not make for yourself any statue or any graven image. And this is the mitzvah of making it even before, and even if you do not actually worship it. The next mitzvah, 8th mitzvah, I believe, is that it's forbidden for a Jew to manufacture, even for others, a idol, which means forget about a Jew. Before, the previous mitzvah was about a Jew who was making it for himself. But here you have a Jew, and he's just simply a good sculptor, and somebody comes over to him and says, I want you to make for me an idol, because you're a good master sculptor. So the Jew could say, listen, I'm not worshiping this thing. I don't believe in this God, but this guy's paying me good money to make it, so let me make it. Or let's say there's a Jew who wants to open up a shop, wants to go into the business of selling idols. He doesn't believe in it, but it's good business, good money. It's forbidden for a Jew to do it, even if he's selling it to a non-Jew. It's simply forbidden for a Jew to enable the creation and the existence of idolatrous stuff in this world. Okay, next mitzvah, I'm already losing count. The next mitzvah is that a Jew is not allowed to create a statue in the image of a person out of either metal or stone or wood. It doesn't matter the material, any other materials, even if the Jew does not intend to worship the statue, which means a Jew could say, other people make statues to worship, but I like a statue simply because it's a nice design, nice decoration, good aesthetics in my property to have a nice statue. A Jew's not allowed to make that. Why not, says the Rambam. The rationale for this mitzvah is because the Torah wants to distance us, wants to distance a Jew from these entities that the majority of the world, the masses, say that they have spiritual power and that they actually are something to worship, etc. So Hashem doesn't want us to even have anything like that. And the Rambam says there's a lot of variables in this mitzvah of what you are allowed to make, what you're not allowed to make, what exactly is forbidden, and what not. And let's say it's a 2D image, let's say it's a 3D image, etc., etc. There's so many variables. So the Rambam says you could go look up all the fine print in the Talmud, in the tractate Sanhedrin, and the Rambam also as well in his Code of Jewish Law gives you all the details for that. Okay, that is this mitzvah. The next mitzvah is, it is forbidden for a Jew to incite and encourage and to seduce other Jews to serve idols, even if this Jew himself doesn't do it. But simply by you encouraging others to do it, that is a prohibition. Now, this mitzvah that we are learning right now is specifically referring to somebody, to a Jew, who incites and encourages the majority of a city or the majority of a village to serve idols. And that is called a madiach. So if somebody encourages somebody to worship idols on an individual level, that's a separate commandment. We're going to be learning about that tomorrow. This mitzvah is specifically when somebody encourages, the prohibition to encourage the majority of a city. If somebody encourages the majority of a city, and they indeed go ahead and begin worshiping an idol, that city now is called the Ir Hanidachas, an idolatrous city, a pagan city. Now we're going to be learning 3 mitzvahs about a pagan city right now. So it's forbidden to create this type of city and to encourage the majority of a city to begin serving idols. And then the next mitzvah is that if there's a city where the entire city, every single person in the city, starts serving idols, becomes pagan, then there's a mitzvah. This is heavy stuff over here. And this is when it's the land of Israel. Hashem doesn't want there to be any idolatry in the land of Israel. And when the land of Israel was there was the Sanhedrin, the court of Torah law in the land of Israel, this is what the law would be. That such a city, where the entirety of the city now serves an idol, there's a mitzvah to destroy the entire city, burn it down to the ground, and to kill every single person of that city, and to destroy everything within that city. This comes from the verse in the Torah, V'sarafta v'eish ha'sa'ir v'es kol shalala, and you shall burn down with fire the entire city and everything within it. The city must be destroyed. The next mitzvah is that once the city is destroyed and burnt down, it is forbidden for a Jew to rebuild any part of this idolatrous city. And this is what the verse says in the Torah, and this city shall remain in ruins forever and ever, and shall never be rebuilt. So you're not allowed to even rebuild even a small part of it. And the final mitzvah for today is that it is forbidden to use or to derive benefit from anything that comes from an idolatrous city which has been destroyed. And somebody who does take something from the city and begins using it is violating this mitzvah. And dear friends, with that we got a whole bunch of mitzvahs, all about idolatry for today's daily mitzvah. Enjoy. We'll see you all soon for the next installment, a whole bunch of other mitzvahs, continuing the theme of idolatry. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you all later.